It's the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Now here's your hosts, Tom Hatfield and Joe Nina.
Welcome to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
Grab that pen, make sure you have it.
Gotta have it.
I got a special guest here joining us, Bill Ferrario, ex-Green Bay Packer and Wisconsin Badger. Bill, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Crazy week number 10. We saw Tampa Bay and Jacksonville finally get their first win of the year. You had Minnesota knock off Washington. And how about that St. Louis game against Indianapolis?
No one expected that.
No, I did. I was surprised about the Minnesota game. I heard it was the first win on U.S. soil. I thought that was pretty. I'd feel pretty bad if I was a player on the Vikings having that stat.
Not bad for an expansion team.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we also have to talk about the green and gold. They're having a few problems under center there. So
Yes.
Call you back up?
Yeah, they might be after all those linemen are going down. You never know.
Play quarterback?
I can play. You pay me the right amount of money, I can play whatever position you want.
And bring number 4 back.
I thought John Kuhn was going in there. I don't know. Anyway, we're taking a short break. You're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
We'll be right back.
Why go anywhere else when Rookie Sports Pub in Stevens Point has 52 different beers on tap? Known as Portage County's best sports bar for live music and karaoke venue, they have 12 HD TVs, all sports, all the time. Keep up with their Facebook page for all upcoming live music and see who's going to be on the Point Brewery comedy stage next. No joke, they have comedy shows. Also, a local favorite for burgers, wings, and pizza, even free taps and rails on your birthday. Find them on Facebook and catch out the action at Rookie Sports Pub on 3425 Church Street in Stevens Point.
Go big with Polito's Big Slice. Polito's Pizza has been family owned and operated since 2007. With 32 specialty pizzas to choose from, Polito's has your slice. Locations in Stevens Point, Wausau, Wisconsin Rapids, Rothschild, Oshkosh, La Crosse, Green Bay, and De Pere. Whether it's a pregame meal or a halftime snack, make it Polito's. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice.
On game day, stop down at Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Watch the NFL ticket on one of 12 big screen TVs, plus enjoy free brats during Packer games and free wings during Monday Night Football. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill, cold beer and warm company. Located off Interstate 39 and County Road NN, right next to Subway. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
It's back, folks. I don't know. you have like Bill sing backup for you or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
All right, well, week number 10, like I said, a lot of surprises in week 10. You had a couple games that you liked watch.
Yeah, the first game I took a look at, pretty much the only game on that night was the Saints-Cowboys. Cowboys just were not in the house. Drew Brees, 34-41, 392 yards, 4 touchdowns, a QBR of 139. It doesn't get much better than that. On the flip side, Tony Romo only throwing the rock up 24 times, 10 completions, 128 yards, and 1 touchdown. If you can't see, your quarterback's got to be on just on those statistics alone in the NFL. That pretty much covers the game. You know, Mark Ingram on New Orleans side had 14 carries for 145 yards. Pierre Thomas contributed with another 87 yards on 17 carries. Receiving-wise, Marcus Colston had a little bit of a breakout game this year. 7 receptions, 107 yards. Darren Sproles throwing in some more yards, 76 yards on 7 receptions. Kenny Stills throws in 75 yards on 3. On the other side, I don't know what's going on in Dallas. Well, I know what's going on in Dallas. When the ownership changed about, 20 years ago now?
It seems just like as soon as they get things rolling, all of a sudden.
Well, geez, and Jerry Jones was just on ESPN or whatever it was, and he said they were talking about Rex Ryan. He's a real good coach, and everybody was thinking, you couldn't hear him, but you could almost telepathically hear him saying, well, then why'd you fire him? Because he stuck it to him. New Orleans defense stuck it to Dallas, and just wanted to point that game out. Des Bryant, 1 catch, 44 yards. Jason Witten, 2 for 27. Terrence Williams, 1 for 21 yards. Incredible lack of performance on offense there.
Exactly.
So that's that game.
And then there's another game I know that you have a little bit to say, and I'm sure Bill can add a little bit of insight in there. It's tough when you're hurt. There's a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I thought we were on the rebound or the injuries from the earlier in the season, and we looked at that bye week and thought that it would be a good thing. But the Packers and Philadelphia wasn't to be. Seneca Wallace, when he went out, was 5 for 5, 25 yards. Obviously he wasn't going to keep that going, but it looked like he could. But then Tolzien, the Badger native,
former Badger.
Absolutely. What is that? I don't
the W right there.
The W. Yeah.
You're throwing like a hook 'em horn up there. Come on now. Badger, he did have 2 turnovers, but I think he
Tell you what,
represented pretty decent.
And he did represent real good, and he did a real good job, and I hope they stick with him, even though they went with Flynn and went and signed Flynn. But I try to explain this to people about the NFL all the time. I mean, the difference between an interception and a completion in the NFL is 2 yards. The difference is in the NFL, they can cover that 2 yards in less than a tenth of a second.
Yeah. And it's timing, too.
Absolutely.
When you don't get the reps, you don't have that timing, and you don't know where those guys are going to be.
Right. So Tolzien, not bad numbers, though, when he came in. 24-39, take out the 2 INTs, threw 1 touchdown, 280 yards. Boykin, the major receiver on those receptions, 8 catches, 112 yards, 36-yard long. Jordy Nelson, not a great game, 6 receptions, 56 yards. James Jones, 4 receptions, 44 yards, and Brandon Bostic, 3 for 42. Only one with a touchdown there was Bostic. So, not a good day for the Pack all around.
You touch on the quarterback situation, but Bill, something you'd really know about. Right away, the center goes down, and all of a sudden you have to move, bring in Newhouse, and you move everybody basically down a spot.
Absolutely. All normalcy goes out the window, where you have those 5 guys that get so used to playing as one unit. Now you start moving it around.
But the week before, they had to do that, too, when T.J. Lang went out as well, right?
And I think the Packers have been doing it for a while, so they're more accustomed to it than other teams, but you never want to see
the center
juggling
guy
around on the O-line. You don't want to see that. And we saw what happened. I mean, Newhouse had one guy just run right by him. Tolzien gets sacked the next play. Newhouse still has it in his head. He's jumping off sides. I think the offense as a whole from Green Bay did not help Scott Tolzien out much at all. The running backs were not running north and south like they did the week before. I think our young rookie running backs were overthinking things, trying to put too much of the game on their shoulders.
Well, those rookie running backs, too, start thinking, wow, these aren't the regular blockers. I'm going to have to really make something happen. And then when they don't... Because if you see the good runners in the NFL, they're patient.
Yes.
And when they start to go to the hole, they'll wait to the very last second to put their head down and just barrel forward. Where the rookie ones, I mean, they're taking 2 steps and they're already breaking left and right.
Absolutely.
Instead of hitting the hole hard.
You're going to talk about the Philadelphia stats, but before, watching that game, the defensive backs for Green Bay blew it, and so many chances. Foles was not throwing great passes.
No.
He was throwing them up for grabs, and the receivers were making the plays.
Well, they asked Riley Cooper on that one play. They said, "What did you do on that to get so wide open?" He goes, "Well, I came in on an in and out move, and I showed him my eyes, and I went back outside." I mean, that happens in the NFL all the time. For a seasoned guy back there in Morgan Burnett, that should not be happening to him. Right. So there's a breakdown going on that defensive side of the ball somewhere, and they're hurting too. I mean, we maybe have 13 starters out of 22 that are active right now.
And I agree they're hurting, and I'm not taking all the blame off the D-backs, but the one thing I'll point out that we're seeing on the offensive side with the lack of Aaron Rodgers playing on defense with Clay Matthews, when he's in there and he's healthy, he's putting that pressure on that quarterback. Quarterback has less time to decide. That helps the defensive back.
And it's just the threat of him being there.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So him being full speed in the backfield helps those guys on the defensive backfield. With all that being said, you can't get beat because somebody looked the wrong way.
I can see you getting beat by 2 yards, but there was nobody around him for 10 yards.
Exactly.
And you're right. Everything spills from the line on defense back. I mean, people don't realize that the defensive tackles, their main objective is to take up blockers so the linebackers can flow and make plays.
Yep.
And if they're flowing and making plays, they're not getting any yards running.
Sure.
And we held the run. I mean, it was all right. I mean, LeSean McCoy still threw up 155 yards on 25 carries, so big plays, though. I mean, huge plays.
Yeah, I did see
Riley Cooper, 3 receptions, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns.
What was the stat? I think they had nine or more plays over 20-some yards.
Yes.
I think it was something like that.
Right.
That's a bad stat to have.
They were at 51, I want to say, at the beginning of the game. They call them, what do they call them, Tom? You're the statistician over there.
Big plays, I'll call them.
Yeah,
big
there's something.
plays. I don't know.
They're keeping it at a statistic now, but I don't remember. Yeah,
but that's not
big
good
plays.
for your defense to be allowing that kind of number.
Because those are morale busters, too.
Absolutely.
When you see guys flying
And they're game
behind
changers,
you,
momentum changers.
Yep. But
100%.
anyway, to finish up, Deshaun Jackson on that one play, that was just unbelievable. Where it was tipped. 2 Packers were there to make an interception. One knocked the other out of the way. Deshaun Jackson, like he designed it that way, catches the ball and walks backward into the end zone, and I don't like that crap, but anyway. And that's pretty much it. Jason Avant added another 25 yards on 2 receptions.
All right, well, let's take a look overall at the NFL for week number 10. Who was hot, who was cold? You touched on Drew Brees, top quarterback this week, 392 yards, 4 touchdowns against Dallas. Peyton Manning puts up another big number for Denver. He throws for 330 yards and 4 scores. Hurt his ankle late in the game there. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. And then RG3 puts up some decent numbers as they thought he probably would against Minnesota. He goes for 281 yards, 3 touchdowns, also ran for 44.
You can see his confidence coming back.
Yeah, I'm surprised it is this season already.
Right.
I didn't expect it to happen this season.
Running backs, Marshawn Lynch, this guy is just running incredible. The strength that this guy has is amazing. There was a play.
His jump cuts.
There
they're like
was a
4 or 5 yard jump cuts.
There was a play on the sidelines where about 4 or 5 guys tried to bring him down, and he just kept on going. He just kept on moving it forward. He goes for 145 and 1 touchdown. Adrian Peterson, not big numbers, 75 yards, but did find the end zone twice. And Mark Ingram, as you touched on before, finally emerged, coming back. He's been hurt all year long. Goes for 145 yards and a touchdown. Tavon Austin, the top wide receiver out there, only 2 catches, but 138 yards, and then the 98-yard kickoff return.
3 targets, too.
Exactly. I think
66% catch average.
Brandon Marshall, 7 catches, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then A.J. Green, 151 yards receiving, and the tipped ball, last-second Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Exactly. Who was cold? Colin Kaepernick of San Francisco. You touched on it from the get-go, Joe. Anointed way too soon. 11-22, or 11-21, 91 yards total passing, 1 interception, no touchdowns, and only ran for 16 yards.
Sophomore blues, buddy. Sophomore blues.
And then he also touched on Tony Romo, just not performing there. For running backs, Steven Jackson, Matt Forte, Trent Richardson, Lamar Miller. Put it at that, they just had bad games.
One of those things on that Tony Romo deal, that's spillover from last week in Dez Bryant's blowout. I think it is. I mean, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
But I think that's spillover. I really do. That cancer's growing. It ain't very big yet, but it's getting there.
All right, kind of the cold receivers.
Bill, you know what I'm talking about.
I hear you.
We got Roddy White, Marvin Jones, Jacoby Jones, Larry Fitzgerald, Wes Welker, Mike Wallace. You had any of those guys on your team, you weren't too happy. Tight ends, Heath Miller, Dallas Clark, and Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis banged up here. We'll have to wait to see if he's ready to go. Time now to get to our awards real quick here. It's time for our Jim Krishak Jewelers Gem of the Week. Jim Krishak Jewelers is your diamond jewelry and jewelry repair experts down here in Wausau. Or I should say not here in Wausau because we are at Rookies in Stevens Point right now, but in Wausau, 3808 Rib Mountain Drive. Head on down. Holiday season's here, so make sure you check down Jim Krishak Jewelers. Are you ready, Joe?
I'm kind of uncomfortable. But yeah.
You got this fly attack. The only fly left in Wisconsin.
It's like Star Wars.
Who do you have as your Gem of the Week this week?
Oh.
It's easy enough. Come on.
Yeah. Tavon. 5 times.
He only touched the ball
200
3
yards.
times.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 98-yard punt return. 2 receptions for 138 yards.
Unbelievable.
Tavon Austin.
Tavon Austin.
Yeah, Tavon Austin.
You know,
I was going to say Miles.
They've been kind of ripping on him because earlier in the year they made a move. They made him move up to number 8 to pick him up out of West Virginia.
They expected him to perform a lot sooner.
He has not performed, and he did put up the big one. I totally agree. That's going to be my Gem of the Week also. So
I'm gonna pick for my gem then Scott Tolzien because after a week of practice, I think that Badger's going to come out there and we already saw the yardage, we already saw the completion. Now we're going to see the lack of turnovers.
You know,
in this game.
You can point out some really good points in that game, or see some really good highlights in that game. Especially that pick was not a horrible throw. It was just off target a little bit.
Yep.
And if there's 2 things he could have done on there, I think he was going for the back shoulder pass, and the receiver wasn't. or he could have put some air under it.
Yeah.
And that drop in that he put to Jordy on the sideline for what was like 46 yards, that was an incredible throw. And he's got a much stronger arm than he ever showed.
Where did that arm
come?
come? Yeah, were they hiding that arm at Wisconsin, or has the NFL?
Yeah, Barry had it all strapped up.
Yeah, just the ball,
keep it tight and
hand
hand it off.
and
Exactly.
Ron, sit underneath. Sit on it.
Exactly.
There we go. All right, hey, real quick, I want to mention we're not having the Fantasy 911 contest anymore, but we're still going to have another contest for everybody. Predict the Packers score. Go to facebook.com/Polito's Pizza on Sunday. You predict the score. If you're exactly right, you get a big slice, Polito's Big Slice, and a soda, absolutely free. So everybody who gets it right.
The game score or just the Packers
The game score.
Okay.
The entire game. Once again, that's facebook.com/Polito's Pizza. We're going to take a short break. You're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo Sports Bar and Grill.
we'll be right back. On game day, don't get flagged for a small slice violation. Go big with Polito's Big Slice. Here's the competition. Here's a Polito's Big Slice. With 32 specialty pizzas to choose from, Polito's has your slice. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice. Come on down to Post Road Pub. Your NFL, Major League Baseball, and NASCAR headquarters, plus a whole lot more. Darts, pool, shuffleboard, foosball, and a whole lot of fun. Follow Post Road Pub on Facebook. Post Road Pub, 1211 Post Road in Plover, 715-344-9800.
It all starts with a touch. The smallest thing that sets her heart in motion. Or even skips a beat. It could only be the rhythm of love. The rhythm of love, the only jewelry powered by her heartbeat.
Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo Sports Bar and Grill.
with us down here at Rookies in Stevens Point, Bill Ferrario, ex-Badger and Packer, and giving some insight, giving some picks here this week.
I don't like X. I would say former.
Former sounds better.
X is a bad thing. That's a bad connotation.
All right.
You know?
I agree with that, Joe. Let's stick with former.
Would you say you're a former Badger but an ex-Packer because then afterwards you moved on to...
No, I think I'd say former Packer
Former.
because I would claim the Packers.
All right.
I
And
haven't officially had them
Badgers,
hire
you
me
just-
back to retire as a
You know,
Packer, but maybe someday.
They're gonna do that?
We'll plan that out
When
someday.
you
Maybe.
officially retire...
But he'll get his degree from UW sooner or later.
I already got that. You come down in my basement. It's in the house.
I'm kidding.
All right, time now for the Polito's Presents. Week number 11 of the NFL. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice. Stop on down and order a specialty pizza on Sunday. Get a free order of cinnamon or the garlic knots. 8 great locations: Stevens Point, Wausau, Rothschild, Wisconsin Rapids, La Crosse, Oshkosh, De Pere, and now open in Green Bay. Plus, make sure you stop down for your birthday slice of the day. Go to Polito'sPizza.com. Become part of their birthday club, as you did last week, Joe, correct? And Brian
Every
was
week.
Brian was supposed to.
Brian was trying to register last minute,
Couldn't figure it out?
No.
All right. Bill, when's your birthday?
September.
but he
You
is
missed it. We'll have to-
Geek Squad
Next
guy
year.
right now, right?
Next year.
All right.
Still in training?
Hey, quit it now. We're not. They don't advertise on this thing.
that's true.
Don't be giving them any hype.
Well, no, we'll probably get hate mail for saying you're picking on the smart people. It's the name of a company, people.
All right, hey, let's get to the action here. Week number 11. We start things off. Atlanta at 2-7. Tampa Bay got their first win. They're at home at 1-8 here. What do you think here, Bill?
I think we got two bad teams, but I think Tampa, they got that one win. They're going to try and build off it. I think they're going to come back and be able to beat a poor Atlanta team.
I agree.
You made the call last week.
I know. I totally agree with that because that quarterback Glennon, he has got an arm, and he dropped some great balls in there against Miami. However, Miami, I don't know if they would have done any better without the two guys they have there or not, but that Tampa Bay quarterback, he's got a good arm.
All right. Another divisional matchup. We have the New York Jets at Buffalo. Jets at 5-4, going into 3-7 Buffalo. Jets are still in the hunt for the playoff spot. Buffalo can play a spoiler. E.J. Manuel's healthy now, maybe.
I think the Jets, knowing that they have that chance at the playoffs, they're going to play tough. I think that I'm picking the Jets in this game.
I agree with Bill. I mean, the Jets, one thing the Jets you can count on more than anything is their defense. May not perform as well against better teams, but they rock against substandard teams. And I think Buffalo right now just doesn't have it all clicking on offense.
All right. And we have the Detroit Lions, a team that seems to be clicking pretty well right now, in the lead in the NFC North. They go to Pittsburgh. Outdoors, weather could be colder.
Hey,
Pittsburgh's.
Who do you think Bill's going to take? It's a given.
I don't,
Bill's taking Pittsburgh.
I don't think so, because my take on it is, even though it's at Pittsburgh, I'm going to say that Pittsburgh isn't so much beating other teams where they're finding teams that are losing to the Steelers. I think Detroit's on that streak right now where they're trying to stay on top of the division. They're fighting hard. I think they're going to beat Pittsburgh in their backyard.
Okay.
all the way.
That's China.
We found a Lions fan. There's one in Wisconsin.
I'm going the opposite here. I think Detroit's going to lose. Pittsburgh putting a little bit of a run together in Detroit. Outdoors slows down Reggie Bush. He won't be a factor. They'll have a hard time at home against Pittsburgh.
All right, well, the NFC East continues to be interesting. Maybe not good, but interesting. Got the Redskins at 3-6 going to Philadelphia at 5-5 here. How do you see this one playing out?
I think the Redskins, RG3's on a streak. He's playing a little bit better, but I think ultimately Philly, coming off a win in Green Bay, I'm picking Philly in this game.
I agree with Bill. Going into the city of brotherly love, there's such kind fans over there. Yeah, Philly's on a little bit of a roll, and Nick Foles is not losing games for him, and he's throwing up some good numbers.
He looks like it's going to be him again this week as Mike Vick, again, out.
He might be going back to his other occupation.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that here. All right, let's go to a pair of 4 and 5 teams in the AFC. San Diego at Miami.
I'm going San Diego all the way on this.
I'm going to go San Diego for the reason when you say there are no distractions, you're saying it because there are distractions.
There you go.
So I think that alone, I got to take San Diego.
The mere suggestion with a question is a distraction. A reporter asking, what do you think?
You
What's
lost me
going
like
on?
10 seconds ago. I had too many concussions.
Well, you should be getting a severance check here pretty soon because it's severed.
They settled too low.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we're going to go with Baltimore, 4 and 5 against Chicago. Last week, Baltimore got a nice home win against Cincinnati, slowed down that Cincinnati offense. Can they go into Chicago here, who it looks like it's going to be Josh McCown leading the way again?
I think Josh McCown's got something figured out there. I think after beating the Packers, and I'm taking Chicago.
And Chicago's at home?
At Chicago, yes.
That's Chicago.
Yeah, I'm taking Chicago. Baltimore just doesn't have it. Something's not. Those rookies aren't gelling yet, or those younger guys.
The AFC North getting a little bit tight, and we have Cleveland at Cincinnati here. Cleveland at 4 and 5, Cincinnati 6 and 4.
I'm going to go with Cleveland.
I'm going to pick Cincinnati just for the heck of it. I got a couple of fantasy guys I had with Cincinnati.
Circle that one.
Didn't really do too well, but I'm going Cincy.
All righty. Next up, Oakland at 3 and 6 against 2 and 7 Houston. The Houston team is just disappointing me each and every week, and more injuries.
Yeah.
I loved Houston because of all the Badgers that are there. You got J.J. Watt. You got Owen Daniels, who's on IR. Garrett Graham, I think, is the other tight end. I loved Houston, but they're failing me so bad this year. I'm taking the Raiders because the backup quarterback, Matt McGloin, is from Scranton, Pennsylvania, my hometown. So I'm picking the Raiders to win this game.
See, you didn't use that theology, though, just now on the Pittsburgh deal.
Pittsburgh's my home state, but I grew up on the east side of the state. Pittsburgh's west. I grew up a Giants fan, not a Steelers fan. So now I'm a Packers
Pittsburgh's
fan. So
a city in Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania. Might have been
Pennsylvania. I'm sorry.
King geography class. All right, what do you got for your pick here? We're on Oakland and Houston.
Where are we right now?
I'm taking.
We're talking about Pennsylvania.
Where are we?
Houston. I don't know.
All I see is a blue top. I'm taking Oakland. I like Terrell Pryor as a quarterback.
Pryor banged up, as you said. McGloin might be the guy to go there. So.
Yeah, Pryor will play.
All right. How about Arizona? Up to 5 and 4 now, going against Jacksonville. Up to 1 and 8. 2 straight weeks that they haven't lost.
Yeah, bye week.
Bye week
and last week.
There you go.
I'll let Bill start on this one.
I'm going to take Arizona. I don't think Jacksonville's got it figured out enough yet. I think Arizona's going to pull it off.
Yeah, Arizona looked good this last game. Really good. I think they'll handle them.
The big Sunday night game, they did their flex schedule thing and moved this around a little bit. Kansas City going into Denver.
This is a preview of the AFC Championship. Maybe. I don't think Denver will actually be there. I think it'll be Indianapolis, even though they did proverbially say defecated the mattress. Let's just call it that.
Go. Yeah.
You know, Indy had that slack-off game. I think the AFC Championship is actually going to be Denver, Kansas City. Or, I mean, Denver, or Kansas City, Indianapolis. I think Denver will wane here at the end of the year.
So who are you picking in this game? Kansas City or Denver?
Kansas City.
I'm going to pick Kansas City because of the reason of Peyton being injured, banged up right now, not injured, but banged up. I'm going to pick Kansas City to pull out the win.
This is starting. Bill, tell them how long 16-game season
It's
is.
a long season.
You get
Especially
wore
after
out.
you had neck surgery.
And
it's
you're
that much-
38
that
years
much
old.
longer. Absolutely.
You know?
All right, let's go with Minnesota at Seattle. Christian Ponder banged up there, guys. Who's going to be in
Yeah,
there?
that could be a tough one for Minnesota. You're going out to play against another former Badger quarterback in Russell Wilson in a very loud stadium with a very good defense. Seattle all the way.
Yep, Seattle all the way. And Ponder, you know, that goes to show you how rare it is that you get a quarterback that can play a 16-game season. There's not a lot of them, you know, and we're spoiled up here. And that's why everybody collectively went, oh, not the 70s and 80s again.
All right, let's think. How about San Francisco at New Orleans? Pretty good matchup here. Niners at 6-3, coming off a tough loss to Carolina. New Orleans at 7-2.
I'm taking New Orleans. Tough place to play. Drew Brees, he's lighting it up right now in New Orleans.
Drew Brees is like untouchable at home. But all the way. Especially the way San Fran's performing. I think they peaked last year about week 18.
All right. Then we have, here we go. This is a tough one then for you, Bill. If you said you grew up as a Giant fan, Green Bay at the Giants.
You know, New York's a tough place to play, but I think the Packers after what happened last week, I think the offense is going to play better, knowing they have to play better. I think Tolzien's going to get a week of actual practice as a starting quarterback, and I think the Packers are going to come out with the win this week. I think Tolzien's going to have a good, consistent game, and the offense is going to follow his leadership.
I agree with Bill on every single thing except for the fact. One fact and one fact only. Eli Manning has had the Packers number every time they've played. And that's the only reason I'm taking the Giants.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow. That doesn't happen too often here, folks. So, how about Monday night? New England at 7-2 against 6-3 Carolina.
That's not right. I was worried about them losing against.
You were worried, but you never picked against them before.
Well, no. But
3
that's the
years.
same as a
3
Packer
years.
fan. That's the same as a Packer. We're going to put you on the other side. How about you start picking some teams? You wouldn't have picked Minnesota at all in the last 3 years.
Exactly. New England 7-2 against Carolina 6-3. Real quick here.
I'm taking Carolina.
I'm going to go New England.
All right. Now, real quick, I want to mention, Bill.
You did say you had 10 concussions.
Bill, thanks for coming on here, the show here today. I want you to let everybody know about, what you have going on right now. And
Started a company called Packer Events. Our website's packerevents.net, and it's basically it started off just marketing former Packers. Now we have current Packers. We have Scott Tolzien as one of our clients, and it's getting them out to businesses, organizations, charities, golf outings, any type of event that you want a celebrity athlete. We have brewers. We're talking to NASCAR guys. It's any event that you want a celebrity athlete at, whether it's to make it memorable for your clients, your customers, to help raise money for your charity. You can contact us at packerevents.net, and we could help figure out the correct athlete that fits your needs, get an athlete there, and make it a memorable event.
I'm going to definitely do that coming up here in May of the charity run that we have over in Menominee.
Perfect schedule for it.
Okay, and how can they get a hold of you for that?
Packerevents.net. We're on social media on Twitter, Facebook, but the website's packerevents.net, N-E-T.
All right, great.
Good deal. It's a good organization.
We're going to take a short break. You're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bo Joe's Sports Bar and Grill.
and the Big W. We'll be right back.
What began in a 9th grade math class as a campaign to run for President of the United States turned into a successful video production company where we focus on making videos for the fun of it. We are Will 36 Studios, and what we do is simple. We make videos for fun, entertainment, and for you. With high-definition cameras, the most advanced processors, and powerful editing software, we have the ability to make your project absolutely stunning. Imagine the possibilities. Well, that's exactly what we'll do. That's our story. Do you have a story to tell? Tell it with us.
He is counted to infinity. Twice. He once set a land speed record on a surfboard. Bruce Springsteen calls him the boss. He is the most fascinating man alive.
I don't always buy diamonds, but when I do, I prefer
Jim Creshaw Jewelers, located at 3808 Rib Mountain Drive, Wausau.
Stay sparkly, my friends.
Why go anywhere else when Rookie Sports Pub in Stevens Point has 52 different beers on tap? Known as Portage County's best sports bar for live music and karaoke venue, they have 12 HD TVs, all sports, all the time. Keep up with their Facebook page for all upcoming live music and see who's going to be on the Point Brewery comedy stage next. No joke, they have comedy shows. Also, a local favorite for burgers, wings, and pizza, even free taps and rails on your birthday. Find them on Facebook and catch out the action at Rookie Sports Pub on 3425 Church Street in Stevens Point.
Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Toledo's Pizza, home of the Big Slice and
Bojo Sports Bar and Grill.
time now for our high school fantasy football Kings. We're down to the semifinals for a lot of our area teams here. And Joe, why don't you start off with your high school fantasy king here?
I got to get my glasses on straight first. My high school fantasy king for this week is Pittsville's running back Alec Kohler. Ran the ball 16 times for 143 yards and 4 touchdowns. Then added his 5th with a kickoff return as the Panthers took down New Lisbon 39-20. Pittsville gets Glenwood City in their Division 7 semifinal playoff.
All right, and then Bill, we'll let you go up next here.
I'm going to give away my high school fantasy king award out to the entire Shiocton defense. The Chiefs shut out Iola Scandinavia 32-0 in their level 4 matchup. That was their 9th shutout
There you go.
of the season.
There's number 9.
In the playoffs, Shiocton outscored their opponents 146-6. They face 11-1 Hurley in the Division 6 semifinal matchup.
All right, thanks a lot. And I'm going to go with, past couple years we've mentioned this name quite a bit, Zableski. This time it's Connor Zableski, running back out of Amherst. We had his brother on the show last year at this time. He ran for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Falcons took out Stratford 21-7 in the state quarterfinal matchup. Next up for the defending D5 champs is Stanley Boyd, and they are undefeated, so that should be one heck of a football game. So congratulations to all of our Fantasy King, and we'll have more.
That's when it was fun. High school ball was a blast.
All right, time now for our
college.
Come on, Bojo's trivia question. Come on, Joe.
Bojo's trivia question.
I wanted to hear your little
Oh.
Joe thing. That thing.
Oh.
I was waiting for that.
Well, you got it.
You ready? Here. It's time for the.
What are you rubbing your ear for? It's time for the Bojo's trivia question.
All right, Joe.
Last week's trivia question was...
No, we're not even going to do that yet. I need you to tell everybody what's going on at Bojo's.
Hey, all the time at Bojo's, it's nothing but warm company and cold beer.
It's a good thing it's not the other way around.
Every warm company, cold beer.
I said it's a good thing it's not the other way around.
Yeah, I wouldn't be there. Unless it was in Germany. Anyway, every Packer game on Sundays, we have free brats, all you can eat during the game, free Jello shots, green and yellow. The shots or for touchdowns only because I consider field goals, even though you get points for them, somewhat of a disappointment.
All right.
Also, we give a bunch of other stuff away. And then Sundays is also free pool and free darts. Mondays is happy hour from 4 to 7, half price drinks. At night, it's $1.50 bottles. Tuesdays is double trouble happy hour. First happy hour runs from 4 to 7. Next happy hour runs from 9 to 1. They are half price drinks. So if you don't have anything going on Wednesday morning, we have a place for you to go Tuesday night.
Perfect.
Or if you don't want to do anything Wednesday morning, Wednesdays is happy hour, of course, from 4 to 7. $5 pitchers, which we have changed now. In addition to that, all day long is Joni's special. And Joni was a gal that was one of our regulars, really nice lady. She passed away a few weeks back here, and we have this special running in her honor. So it's $1.50 bottles all day, domestic bottles that is. And at night, $5 pitchers. Thursdays is half price Captain Morgan drinks and Jack Daniels drinks. Friday, of course, is our fish fry, 4 to 9 during the prime time. We have $1 old fashions. So, and then, of course, all week long we have the all-you-can-eat soup and salad bar. 6 soups, homemade soups on the salad bar right now. 26 different items on the salad bar. And really good deal for $6.95. And coming soon, all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet.
I'm hungry already.
I'm telling you, I got to stay away from that. Or I'll end up looking like...
Let's give away a couple of fish
like an old lineman.
Give away a couple of those fish fries right now. Take a look at the trivia question we had from 2 weeks ago, and actually a week ago because we had that little hiccup on the TV. But anyway, the question was, who is the only Green Bay Packer player to have a defensive touchdown during the 1993 season?
And here is the clue, the hint.
The hint?
It started a tradition at Lambeau Field.
Any idea there?
Ooh, I know who it is. If it started a tradition, I know who it is.
And what would it be there, Bill?
I would say Leroy Butler.
There you go. Leroy Butler coming up here in December will be the 20th anniversary of that touchdown where he started the Lambeau Leap.
Yes.
So,
Leroy Butler was the winner. And we have two winners this week.
Who was our winners there?
For our fish fries. And the first one is Wade Flannery, who is the brother-in-law of Joni that I mentioned earlier, and Chip Candair. Two of those guys get 2 fish fries each. For Bojo's, you can come on down and pick them up in person and redeem them at the time, or you can stop down at any time and pick them up and use them as you would please. They do expire in a year.
All right.
It's on tissue paper, so don't wash it. I'm kidding.
Don't put it in your pocket. There you go. You can be the winner. All you have to do is answer the trivia question each week. Send your answers to Facebook/Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. This week, Bill, we're going to let you pick the question of the week. What do you have for us?
I feel honored. And it's going to be a question about me. So
everybody has that once in their life, Bill.
Us old linemen, we need to take a chance to talk about ourselves and do something about ourselves. So the trivia question is, which team did I play my first regular season NFL game against, not counting special teams, as an offensive lineman? Which team did I play my first regular season game against?
That's a good question.
It's going to be a tough one. I think that we can stump a few people, but hopefully somebody can look that up. But good question.
Yeah, that's an awesome question.
Once again, send your answer in to Facebook.com/Bojo's.
Hold on a second. What was that like, though? I mean, to go in as a starter in the NFL for your first... I mean, it's every boy's dream. You had to be living on cloud nine.
You're living a dream. It is. I mean, after a game, you're almost pinching yourself.
Right.
Just saying, like, I remember I was on the phone with my mom and dad, and just, me and my dad were. It was almost like
in a pad.
It was almost like we were just smiling, like just on the phone, just realizing what I just accomplished and how much fun it was, and. I was a part of a great offensive line when I was out there in Green Bay. I had Frank Winters out there, and he was a great guy to learn from on the line. I mean, it was a great experience.
Good deal. Yeah, that had to be incredible. I just remember, college ball or high school, just going out on a big game, and you feel like every stride was 10 yards coming out onto the field. Just incredible.
All right, time now for our NFL video of the week. And how about the wild finish they had in Baltimore and Cincinnati game? Cincinnati came down to their last play about midfield, and the alley-oop Hail Mary play. Ball gets tipped around a couple times and their prayers answered, but
in regulation time, I'm sorry. AJ Green comes up with a big catch there, gets tipped around to him. Big catch. He got his mouth and went,
didn't turn out right for him because they lost in overtime to Baltimore, but still, our video of the week, definitely a great play there. So.
Absolutely.
All right.
I don't know if it's a great play as much as it is a lucky play.
All right, well, it's a lucky play. It's a great video. We're taking a short break. You're watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
We'll be right back. On game day, stop down at Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Watch the NFL ticket on one of 12 big screen TVs, plus enjoy free brats during Packer games and free wings during Monday Night Football. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill, cold beer and warm company. Located off Interstate 39 and County Road NN, right next to Subway. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
I'm the king.
I am the king.
I'm the king.
I am the king.
No, I'm the king. Hi, I'm Tom Hatfield. Join myself and Joe Nino every Sunday for the Fantasy King Sports Hour.
Every week we'll take a look at the NFL and help you with your fantasy football action.
We'll have our own fantasy contest, trivia questions, and a whole lot of fun.
Don't forget our weekly high school football fantasy kings.
Plus, you'll never know who might run by.
Are you going to be this week's fantasy king?
Go big with Polito's Big Slice. Polito's Pizza has been family owned and operated since 2007. With 32 specialty pizzas to choose from, Polito's has your slice. Locations in Stevens Point, Wausau, Wisconsin Rapids, Rothschild, Oshkosh, La Crosse, Green Bay, and De Pere. Whether it's a pregame meal or a halftime snack, make it Polito's. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice.
Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
and also,
PackerEvents.net.
all right, we're with.
And also, Polito Sports Bar. Polito Sports Bar. Hey, we opened a new one.
I guess so. We're out here at Rookies in Stevens Point, and time now, Joe, buys and injuries.
Buys and injuries. We only got 2 buys this week. Dallas and St. Louis. Dallas could use a couple weeks, I think. Get rid of their owner and start over. Anyway, quarterbacks for week number 11 coming up. Quarterback Michael Vick, Philadelphia, out with a hamstring. Chicago's Jay Cutler, ankle is doubtful. Josh McCown to get the start. Cleveland, Jason Campbell, ribs, he is questionable. Oakland's Terrell Pryor is questionable. Denver's Peyton Manning, ankle is probable and will be on this list for the next 6 weeks. Minnesota's Christian Ponder, shoulder is questionable. Quarterback Seneca Wallace, groin is doubtful. Scott Tolzien from the Wisconsin Badgers gets the start.
Go Badgers.
Go Badgers. Running backs, we only got 2. That's amazing. Tampa Bay's Mike James, ankle, he was out. He had a good game going too.
He started out real well.
Really good game. Oakland's Darren McFadden, he seems to be on this year in and year out now. Hamstring, he's questionable, but when you run like a gazelle, and you're not, muscles don't cooperate. Moving on to wide receivers. New York Jets, Antonio Holmes, hamstring is probable. Buffalo's Stevie Johnson, groin, he is questionable. Buffalo's Robert Woods, ankle is questionable. Detroit, I was trying to do this without my glasses. I need to throw something in my eyes. Detroit's Nate Burleson, arm is questionable. Baltimore's Brandon Stokely, lower body still
that lower body
is in question.
We figured that's from the waist down to the toe. We don't know exactly. It's some part.
Just a general.
Lower body. All right, we'll go with that one. Arizona's Michael Floyd, shoulder is questionable. Minnesota's Jerome Simpson, idiot, disciplinary.
Idiot award.
Disciplinary.
DUI.
Disciplinary.
DUI.
Was it a DUI?
Yeah.
You should have taken the boat. Seattle's Percy Harvin, pulling the old Rose from the Chicago Bulls. Hip is probable, but I doubt it. He's taking the year off. New England's Austin Collie is questionable. And
Another idiot alert. Idiot alert.
Kansas City's Dwayne Bowe, disciplinary. He's questionable.
Pulled over with a little bit of the wacky weed.
That is called herb.
Herb. There you go. He was doing a little cooking.
It's called herb. Tight ends. Atlanta's Tony Gonzalez. He's got a toe problem. He is probable. New York Jets, Kellen Winslow. A suspension served is probable.
Hopefully done being an idiot.
Boy, is he not like his father at all.
No. Polar opposites.
Oh, my. Cincinnati's Jermaine Gresham, groin is questionable. San Francisco's Vernon Davis, concussion, he is questionable. New Orleans' Benjamin Watson, concussion is questionable. Defenses that may have an impact on who you want to start on offense, missing some key players. These are what good fantasy players look out for. Baltimore's defensive tackle, Halati Ngata. Ngata. Knee is questionable.
You got nada.
Gata
Nada.
and knee.
Yeah, there's
2 Ks we don't need. It's questionable. Cincinnati's linebacker, Paul Peluzny, concussion. He is questionable. Denver's defensive back.
Did you see he skip Malaluga again? Because he's
No.
Right.
I would not skip that. I'm going to go back. Cincinnati's linebacker, Ray Mayalega.
Exactly.
Concussion is questionable. Jacksonville's linebacker, Paul Peluzny. Concussion. He is questionable. Denver's defensive back, Champ Bailey, riding the last cart of the train in his career. His foot is questionable. San Francisco safety, Eric Reed. He has a concussion. He is questionable. Green Bay's defensive tackle, not disciplinary.
No.
Johnny Jolly Groen is questionable. He has been.
Since he's been back.
That's right. He went home and lived with mom for a while. New England's defensive back, Aqib Talib. His hip, he is questionable. And that wraps it up for injuries and buys for Week 11.
11 of who I like and dislike, and you guys can go ahead and throw your 2-3 cents in.
Throw, like literally?
I'll take any
Man,
money
I'll
I get.
kill you.
Don't say that. Somebody might take it literally.
Maybe text it. You can't be saying it. All right, starting at quarterback, Robert Griffin III going up against Philadelphia. The Eagles 31st in the league versus the pass. Russell Wilson, Seattle going against Minnesota. Vikings 29th versus the pass, 30th in points allowed. And Nick Foles, Philadelphia, going up against the Washington defense. He's had the hot hand, and Washington 31st in points allowed. Any problem with any of those guys?
So you're calling for a shootout between Washington and Philly?
Without a doubt, yes.
Okay.
I like them all. I expected Russell Wilson. I'm surprised that RG3 was able to turn it around and find the success this season.
Hey, I asked you this question. Did I ask you this question off camera? Who did I ask this question?
I don't know what question you're talking about.
If or when Russell Wilson is inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, do you think he'll go as a Badger or
100% a Badger?
Okay, good job.
Because I don't even think half the people can know who he played for before the Badgers, and I think the Badgers put him in the NFL.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great point, yeah.
Exactly. I think without a question.
Just one of
incredible
those
success there.
Just one of those Cliff Cleveland questions.
He walks around with his Badger gear on or Badger hat.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
A couple of quarterbacks.
Help me now. I do it myself.
I don't say this too much about the dislikes, but Peyton Manning and Tom Brady this week. Manning going up against that Kansas City defense, and Brady going against Carolina, the top 2 scoring defenses in the league.
These are 2 guys that are on, I would say, 3 to 5. Well, Manning, 2 years max. Brady, maybe another 4 to 5.
I agree, and I think Manning with the injury or being banged up, I think that's going to hamper him.
All right, running backs this week. I like Ray Rice going up against
arm's
Chicago.
Arm's going to go to crap too.
He needs a breakout. This is a guy all year long that struggled with Ray Rice. Chicago's 31st in the league versus the run. D'Angelo Williams going against the Patriots, who are giving up plenty of rushing yards. He's at New England's 30th versus the run, and Reggie Bush going against Pittsburgh, who's 29th versus the rush.
I have a little issue with that Ray Rice deal because that's not Ray Rice. That's the line.
I agree, but going up against Chicago, you would think that anybody would be able to put up some yards.
Exactly. You would hope.
I really like Rice and Bush for this week.
Yep.
All right. Dislikes.
I don't like Bush outside though, because you got to have that quick, explosive first step, and you lose that when you're outside on grass. Look at you. You went from a 4.8 to a 5.2 from indoors to grass.
Those are some good numbers he's throwing out. Somebody write that down quick.
And that's on movement, not on sound.
Dislikes Fred Jackson this week. Buffalo going up against the Jets. The Jets are only allowing 74 rushing yards per game. And then Stephen Ridley going up against that Carolina defense also.
Right.
Okay. And then wide receivers, I like Riley Cooper of Philadelphia, Larry Fitzgerald going against the Jags, who are giving up points to everybody, and Vincent Jackson, you touched on before, Glennon really throwing the ball nice, and I think that they can connect going against the Glennon.
Isn't it kind of amazing that you just need one controversy to get rid of another?
Absolutely.
And you know what? I know people will have no idea what we're talking about right now, and I'm not going to say it, because it'll just reignite it.
Reignite it?
It's gone.
And,
nobody's even talking about it anymore.
But if Christian Ponder is questionable this week, just a hint.
Yeah.
You might be brought back out. so there you go. Also, Wide receivers I don't like: Denarius Moore, Oakland going against Houston, the number 1 pass defense. How at 2-7, and prior not being 100%. And then Greg Jennings from Minnesota with that Seattle defense. The defensive backfield is so physical. They have those are huge defensive backs and safeties.
Bill, did you see what he said to Aaron Rodgers when he was giving him a little hug when he left the field?
I saw the whole whisper and all that, but I didn't.
Well, the supposed comment was, "Do you have room on the plane?"
I believe it.
I believe it.
All right, real quick, I want to mention to everybody, if you haven't checked it out already, check out
Saloons and Spoons.
one of Joe's favorite reading materials.
They got some great stories in it. There was one, I don't know, Bill, if you caught the show, which I'm sure you did.
Absolutely.
They had a show in there about 4 kids on a trip, college kids, and they had to get back for a final. Well, none of them started. They just partied it up all week, and they got back late, and they told the professor, and the professor said, "All right, I'll give you a shot at it again." He put them all in 4 different rooms, gave them 4 of the blue books, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And the last question was, their excuse was they got a flat tire. The last question was, which tire? Don't!
That's those stories and a whole lot more.
Yeah,
Some great
nice. Good
pictures
stuff in
right.
there.
Check it out. Saloons and Spoons at your local bars, restaurants, all over central Wisconsin. So,
Church.
there you go. Could it take a short break?
Yeah, let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
All right. On game day, don't get flagged for a small slice violation. Go big with Polito's Big Slice. Here's the competition. Here's the Polito's Big Slice. With 32 specialty pizzas to choose from, Polito's has your slice. Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice.
Why go anywhere else when Rookie Sports Pub in Stevens Point has 52 different beers on tap? Known as Portage County's best sports bar for live music and karaoke venue, they have 12 HD TVs, all sports, all the time. Keep up with their Facebook page for all upcoming live music and see who's going to be on the Point Brewery comedy stage next. No joke, they have comedy shows. Also, a local favorite for burgers, wings, and pizza, even free taps and rails on your birthday. Find them on Facebook and catch out the action at Rookie Sports Pub on 3425 Church Street in Stevens Point.
On game day, stop down at Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Watch the NFL ticket on one of 12 big screen TVs, plus enjoy free brats during Packer games and free wings during Monday Night Football. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill, cold beer and warm company. Located off Interstate 39 and County Road NN, right next to Subway. Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. Welcome back to the Fantasy King Sports Hour, brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the Big Slice, and
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill. I do the fast version because Tom's menopause is kicking in. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Hey, let's get to
Nothing wrong with menopause.
She gets in trouble again. Time for our picks here. What do you got for your starting quarterback this week?
Is Bill going first?
I didn't think
Bill can pull one right off the top of his
I don't
head.
have picks. If I'm going to pick a
That
starting quarterback,
quarterback,
I'm picking
Tolzien.
Scott Tolzien.
I'm going with Cam
Badgers,
Newton.
maybe.
Yeah, Badgers. I'm going with Cam
the
Newton.
wrong one. You should take the one that's in the Seattle uniform if you're going to pick one.
True.
I'm going to go with RG3. Here's my quarterback going up against Philadelphia. My first running back, as I touched on, Ray Rice. I think
What do you got for running back, Bill?
I'm
Just wing one. You got to know him.
I'm going to stick with the Packers and go Eddie Lacy.
All right, I got Eddie Lacy, too.
All right, what about your other running back?
My other running back is LaShawn McCoy.
All right, and I'm going to go with D'Angelo Williams going up against New England. Wide receivers.
Jacksonville? Yeah. Or no, that's not Jacksonville. Wide receivers, I got Tavon Austin, St. Louis. Let's see if he can do it. 2 weeks in a row, see if he started something here. I'll give him the chance.
Okay.
Bill?
Wide receivers, I'm going to go...
He threw him under the bus, by the way, so it's like...
He did totally throw me under the
Well,
bus.
you know what?
I'm not going to take a wide receiver this round.
He's just going to go with running back.
I'm just running the ball all game here.
Offensive lineman, just run the damn...
Why can't we pick old linemen on fantasy? That's my argument.
Right?
My wide receiver, they got Riley Cooper and Larry Fitzgerald.
Wiley Cooper?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
Riley
my
Coyote.
other wide receiver is Victor Cruz, and I'm going with a tight end of Jimmy. I love the graham cracker.
All right, I go with Tony Gonzalez there. Kickers, I think we got an agreement here this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going with, like Bob Newhart?
Yeah.
Garrett Hartley?
Exactly. I had to explain it to him because he's too young, I
Well,
guess.
you tell me where you get Bob Newhart. Hartley out of Bob Newhart.
If you watched Bob Newhart, you would know. Anyway, I'm also going to go with Garrett Hartley. And my
Key phrase there, if you watched.
defense, I'm going with Seattle going up against Minnesota.
My defense, I'm going KC.
All right. Let's recap some stuff here real quick. First of all, our Bojo's trivia question. Bill, you came up with it. It was who your first game?
Which team I played my first regular season NFL game against, not counting special teams. So as an offensive lineman, who was the first team that I played a regular season NFL game against?
Send your answer in.
Were you the sprint out guy down? Going down the wedge buster?
No. On special teams, I was the guy. I was setting the wedge, having those guys come in and bust it.
That's illegal now.
That wasn't fun.
The wedge is illegal now.
Anyway, send your answer into Facebook.com/Bojo Sports Bar and Grill. And real quick, again, thank you for joining us. Let everybody know about Packer Events.
Packer Events. It's a company that I started getting Green Bay Packers, celebrity athletes from the Brewers, NASCAR, pretty much anything out there, to people's businesses, organizations, charities, golf outings. You can find us at packerevents.net.
Hooking them all up together.
Absolutely.
It'll be a lot of fun.
It's more affordable than people think.
Very much more affordable. Absolutely.
So just make sure you check that out. Also, make sure before game time, you go to Polito's Pizza on Facebook and predict your Packer score, win a chance, or win a slice and a soda. One of those big slices.
Do I
And
get to win a
also-
slice if I pick the right score?
Yeah.
Because I almost want to go on tonight and put a score.
Good luck.
Because I love some Politos.
Oh, I love me my Palitos.
All
Palitos
right.
is good. And don't forget about Bojo Sports Bar and Grill.
You never
We have our great salad bar at $6.95. Shouldn't say that it's close to go. But anyway, $6.95, all you can eat soup and salad, 6 homemade soups, specials every night. Big one is Joni's special, honoring an individual that was a good customer of ours who passed away recently. And also, coming soon, the Ski Hill Opening Saturday. Early season this year. Breakfast buffet.
Going to be a good one.
That'll actually be starting, though, the week Friday after Thanksgiving. Black Friday. So the guys have something to do.
All right.
Go eat.
That's going to do it here for week number 11. You've been watching the Fantasy King Sports Hour brought to you by Polito's Pizza, home of the big slice.
And
Bojo's Sports Bar and Grill.
Bill Ferrario joining us, Packer Events. Thank you once again, Bill.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
It's been fun.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Talk to you later. Enjoy the games, everybody.